Could Facebook rig the 2016 election? It's a question a lot of people are asking, including many employees at Facebook itself. This March, in an internal survey, some employees raised the question of whether Facebook had a responsibility to prevent the election of Donald J. Trump. For their part, Facebook says they have not and would not use their products in a way that attempts to influence how people vote. But just because they say that they'll decline to exercise this power doesn't mean that they actually lack this power. Facebook is big. No, like really big. It's changed how we socialize, but it's also fundamentally changed how we access information. Nearly half of all US news traffic originates from Facebook, and more people get their news from the site than any other source. And maybe the sheer size or scope of Facebook wouldn't be a big deal if they were just an unfiltered conduit for information, like Twitter or like Sina Weibo in China. But Facebook isn't an unfiltered conduit for information. It's in fact deeply filtered. And for that reason, they have the capacity to skew the 2016 election if they so desired. Let's start with Facebook's newsfeed, the main list of content you see every time you visit the site. Many users think this is an organic collection of all the things their friends have liked or shared, but it's really not. The newsfeed is a meticulously curated product of Facebook's algorithm. It's designed to prioritize content you're likely to engage with, using your past experience as a baseline. But this sorting process could be manipulated without outsiders knowing about it. And in the context of the election, Facebook could quietly tweak the algorithm to censor content about candidates they didn't like, or emphasize content about candidates they favor. But the newsfeed is only one part of Facebook's curated content pipeline. In the top right of every homepage, you'll find the trending news section. It brings users a list of news items that are ostensibly popular across the site. But the information here is also curated, rather than based purely on user engagement. It's not even curated by an algorithm, it's curated by human employees. And these employees have the unilateral power to label certain stories as trending and promote them across the site. They also have the power to deactivate or blacklist certain stories that they don't want to display to all the Facebook users. And you'd never know whether it was just because your friends weren't sharing them or because Facebook decided you shouldn't see them. But there's actually an even easier way for Facebook to skew an election, a more direct way for it to have an effect on how people vote. And it's what some people are calling digital gerrymandering. For every major election since 2008, Facebook has deployed an I voted module. It lets users share that they cast a ballot and encourage their friends to do so too. A 2010 study found that users were almost 0.4% more likely to vote if they had seen the module versus if they hadn't. Now, that may not sound like a lot, and it's not for any one individual person, but when deployed across the country at Facebook scale, it led to 340,000 more Americans voting in the 2010 election than would have otherwise. Imagine if in November, Facebook deployed the same button, but this time did so unevenly. The site could make use of the fact that likes and clicks can predict people's political views and party affiliation, and only send people to the polls who agree with Facebook's agenda. In doing so, Facebook could conceivably create its own voting bloc and swing an election as it desired. And if you think that maybe the FEC will step in or the government somehow will step in to limit this activity, there's actually no regulatory mechanism for the government to limit how Facebook sends information to Americans. Doing this kind of manipulation would merely be exercising corporate speech. So yes, Facebook has said that they would never ever try to influence how someone votes in an election. But that doesn't mean that it couldn't. And regardless of who your candidate is, the way that Facebook seems to lean today doesn't mean that it couldn't lean the opposite way in the future. Maybe that is reason for concern.